Hello, William Forty here, aka The Random Coder. And I've been asked a lot lately about how concerned I am about the looming presence of an ever-growing and powerful AI, which increasingly seems to be able to do a lot of the work that software engineers can do. And because I've been asked so much, I wanted to create a video on it to dedicate to answering that very question. So with nearly 2 decades of experience, I have an opinion on this topic. And interestingly enough, I've been reading this book called Key Person of Influence by Daniel Priestley, who's this chap here, who has a lot of interesting things to say. I've been listening to him a bit lately. And one of the subjects that he touches on early in the book is, he tries to encourage you to become a person of vitality versus a person of functionality. Now, you will have met these two kinds of people if you've been in software engineering for any amount of time. So a person of functionality, or a functional person, will be the kind of a person that will attend a meeting and maybe they participate a bit in the meeting. They'll have a few clarifying questions, but in general, they'll be a bit more passive. When they do the work, they're sort of typically following the plan that has been laid out in the meeting, or they tend to like prescribed workload. So workload that has been kind of discussed as a team, and all they have to do is just implement the work, and they do so competently and diligently, and they do a good job. But they tend not to be the kind of person that is a vital person or a person with vitality as described in the book. It's more, these people are the kind of people that tend to think very strategically, very innovative. So you'll have noticed people in meetings where they just wait for the ice cream truck to go by. Yes, you'll have noticed people that tend to be more outspoken about the fundamental questions. So things like, why are we even doing this? What are we trying to achieve? Is what we're trying to achieve the right thing even? What is our goal? Is it the right goal? What actually do we want to do here? So those kind of questions tend to originate from people that are more vitally minded, or minded in the sense that Daniel Priestley is advocating for. So the more kind of innovative, strategic thinker. So what does this actually have to do with AI and the impact on your role? I think it depends whether you lean towards being more of a functionally minded person or a vitally minded person. So I think if you're more the sort of person that's going to just go along with things, and by the very nature of the type of person that you are in a team, if it's more routine, then that's much simpler to automate and to be replaced with AI. However, conversely, if you're more a vital person, the kind of person that asks the big questions, then I think AI is actually something that can augment your ability to do that. If you think about the tool Replit, which I used recently, it's an amazing tool. You can just enter, create me an app that does X, Y, and Z, and it figures out how to do the whole thing pretty much impressively well. But it still needs that initial idea. And that's the point. The people with the ideas are the people that are going to be able to take advantage of this next era that is coming, is upon us, in fact, with AI. There's a great example in the book, which I really liked, actually, where it mentions, it draws upon the analogy of a singer. And if you imagine a singer before the microphone was invented, they could perform to an audience, but as soon as the microphone was invented, their audience has grown exponentially. And in doing so, it magnifies it magnifies who you are. If you're a great singer, it magnifies your performance to a much wider audience. Whereas if you're a terrible singer, then a load more people than probably you wish will now know how terrible a singer you are. So I think AI is along those lines. It is going to be a tool which magnifies what you offer. And this is either, I suppose, a promise of hope or a threat, depending on which type of person you identify more with. But I think even if you do consider yourself to be more as a functional role, or a person that sort of, perhaps doesn't contribute so much in meetings, the beauty of it is that you can adapt. There's going to be such a demand for people that can ask these critical questions that you can train yourself and try to become more like the strategic person, and capitalize on AI rather than be threatened by it. So that's my initial thought on AI. So for me personally, I'm not that worried because on my CV on LinkedIn, I identify as a what do I put? Innovative and questioning software engineer. So I mean, that's exactly the kind of guy that is the more vital thinker. So I thought that already about myself. It's always been kind of a strength of mine, I think. So I'm not particularly worried. And AI, I think, is only going to make my ability to contribute value. It's only going to improve that for me, I think. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But I'd be interested to know what you guys think, about what I think. So let me know in the comments your thoughts. Maybe there's a perspective I haven't considered. So I'd be interested in that as well. Finally, I'd be interested to know if you have any other concerns about the changes that are happening in software engineering and in IT in general. What things are threats or opportunities, things that are going to change? Let me know your thoughts. And with that, I'm going to leave it there until the next video. See you later.